What's up, guys? My name is Chris, and this is...
Hey, I'm Andy.
And today, this is the first episode of Vets, Cars, and Jesus, when we're taking out a
Range Rover Evoque.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But this is a cool time that me and Andy get to talk about some of the stuff that's been going on in his life throughout his military career and his faith journey. So stick around, watch it, and have some fun.
See you soon.
Okay, so now we are in the Land Rover. It has a little bit of get up and go. It's kind of fun. But so what do you think about it?
Man, I think it's pretty cool. It actually it presents really well. It has a really cool stance, nice wide tires. So when you get to gas, it takes off, and it's a real clean interior. I've never been in one of these before, but I really like it.
Oh, yeah, I like. It has all these cool modes. It has, like, you know, your eco mode, your comfort mode, for, you know, for what most people use this for. But it also has your snow, rain, all that. It has your off-road desert, off-road mountain.
Yeah.
Everything's a touch screen.
Yeah, it's like a spaceship.
And it's 39 degrees outside right now.
Yeah.
And the heater works really, really well.
Yeah. I'm very thankful for that.
It is fun to drive, though. So, Andy, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your military career, a little bit about you, your family, stuff like that.
So, I just retired a couple of days ago. 20 years and 28 days of service in the Air Force.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And, you know, I stationed here at Wright Pat in Ohio, which is why we're in this gloomy looking state, I guess. It is winter time too, but yeah, my whole career I was spent as a medic. Oddly, most of the time it doesn't happen this way, but oddly I did all 20 years at Wright-Patterson.
That's crazy. So I didn't realize how crazy that actually is until I was talking to a friend of mine that's in the Air Force, and they're like, wait, what? He spent all 20... How does that happen?
It is so rare. There's like a couple other people that I know that have done it. But, I mean, in the end, I just never tried to leave. I never tried to move anywhere else, which some people think that's crazy, but, you know, I came in right before 9/11, so I deployed a bunch right after 9/11. Oh, yeah. And a total of 5 tours overseas. And so, you know, I got my travel kicks during that time. I didn't feel like I needed to go live somewhere else. I liked to be closer to the family. You know, I would live 3 hours away from home, so I was able to see my grandparents and my parents, and which, you know, later on down the road ended up being such a blessing because, you know, when Dad died and when Erin, my wife, her stepmom passed away as well of cancer, and we were able to be there for them during that time, and that was really good. But I tell everybody that in the end, it's a God thing that I stayed here this whole time, because it's a God thing I retired. You know, it just been through so much over the last 20 years, and I remember when I had found out about my dad's cancer, and I was in Kyrgyzstan at the time. And I didn't think I was ever going to see him because I was deployed. They ended up getting me home, obviously, but when I was there and I was really trying to wrap my mind around it and was really upset, the Lord laid it on my heart and let me know that I was going to be able to finish my career in the Air Force. He was going to see me through, and he was going to see me to the finish line. That was when he told me that I was going to make it to retirement, and because I was struggling, because I didn't know how I was going to make it to the next day. You know, my world was just torn apart, and so the other day when I retired, it was such a cool moment. I looked at my ID card and it says retired on it, and it hit me almost like the same voice that told me that he was going to get me there. It was this feeling that, look, this is evidence of God's promise fulfilled. Oh, what a cool feeling that was, because I was like, man, he really did it. He got me through. I don't know how he did it, because I'm just a simple dude, but man, so it's crazy.
Told you.
Yep. Yeah.
You guys up there like, So, you have a wife and a couple kids.
Yep.
How are they? How they handle all this? And they're excited that you're finally retired?
Absolutely. So it's kind of funny. My oldest son, he's 13, and I've been in, his entire life I've been active duty, and he struggled with my deployments. The first one, he was 2 when I went to Germany, and he struggled with it, but not emotionally. It was more so like, I'm gone, now I'm there, who is this guy again? And so he was 2, but the next one, when I went to Cuba in 2011, he was 4. That one really hit home, and that was really hard on him.
And I bet you Cuba was just horrible on your off time, huh?
Oh man, there was a lot of jellyfish in the water. So, I was scared.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, that was actually a really cool deployment, because, so here's the kicker with that one was, I was supposed to go to Afghanistan, and I had orders to go to Afghanistan. I'd been contacted by the guy I was replacing. It was going to be at a forward operating base, so I had all this stuff ready. I got all this cool gear, all this winter gear and stuff, because we're going to be here in the winter time. And then, I met my parents for dinner at St. Mary's. And they knew that I was getting ready to deploy, and my mom teased me saying she tried to get my dad to run me over. Maybe just break his leg. But
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I want to go to Afghanistan. Dad wouldn't do it, of course, thank goodness. But so what'd she do? She prays that God would do something to prevent me from going to Afghanistan. Once again, God's promise fulfilled. The following weekend, I woke up, in my face, I got a picture of it, and my face was swollen to where my eye was shut. I had to go into the ER. Ends up that I had a tooth that had died when I got hit in the face with a snow shovel.
I think.
Different story. I was trying to dig the car out. And the snow
I was gonna say, is that combat really?
Yeah, no, it was just being a goofus. But so the tooth ruptured inside my face, and they were worried that that the infection might have penetrated into the sinuses. And so they're like, you might need to go to emergency surgery. You got to be on these antibiotics. And so they pulled me from my deployment, and I was like, I called my mom. I said, "What did you pray?"
At least your dad didn't run you over, because that would have helped. That would not have been so good with the snorkeling.
Oh yeah. I'm really glad Dad didn't run me over, because they said you're still getting deployed. You're just not going quite yet. But
so okay, let's dig in a little bit. So inside of the military, was there ever a moment where you had to actually trust in God at that moment?
Oh my God.
Like, oh my gosh, I don't know how anything is going to happen without God. It could be, anything.
Absolutely. First thing that comes to my mind, probably because it's one of the more fresher memories, was when I came home from Kyrgyzstan. So, in order to get me home, they had to send me on a civilian flight through Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
And I was with 2 Marines who were going home on emergency leave as well. They had just came from, the front lines. They had just come from, they were in Afghanistan somewhere. They came to Manas Air Base in Kyrgyzstan, where is a transient base, to hop on a flight. Well, they didn't have any flights going back, so they put us on a civilian flight, and we flew from Bishkek Airport in Kyrgyzstan to Incirlik, Turkey. And we got to Turkey, and they detained us in an interrogation room there because I had my NATO orders. They had passports and copies of their NATO orders. So they thought there was something a little suspicious about that. They put us in there. We don't understand what they're talking about. I'm thinking I'm going to be locked up abroad. And mind you, there was a lot of very angry people outside the airport. And this was right before the riots broke out. And so, like, our plane, when I finally did make it onto the plane to fly to JFK Airport, we left 30 minutes before the riots actually broke out. Gosh. So people were really heating up. But while I was sitting in there and I'm looking at the clock, I'm thinking, man, we're going to miss our flight. We have no idea where we're at. Nobody speaks English. And we might be thrown in some, Turkish prison here.
I don't think that sounds too fun.
No, I was terrified.
So, I mean, especially with the riots going on.
Yeah.
And there's so much hate. That'd have been scary.
Yeah. What ended up happening, I was praying. I was praying so much. I thought the Marines were going to snap and hurt somebody, and then I'd be guilty by association. They held it together. Their military bearing was beyond reproach. It was amazing. But they finally released us. It was I don't know, like some representative at the embassy representative or something, I don't know who it was, came in and said, we apologize, you guys are good to continue. And so we go out, and now we don't have a clue where we're going to go. And this dude shows up. Hey, you boys looking for your flight? I'm like, who's this guy? He sounds like he's from Georgia or something. Just showed up. And yes, sir. He had a cart and everything. We threw all our bags on there. And we follow him. Oh, yeah, it's right over here. You're gonna just make it. And gets us there. And so we get our bags and stuff off the cart and look up. Dude's gone. I didn't know who this guy was. My mom swears he's an angel. And maybe she's right, because I don't know. But
you said Georgia, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he fought the devil and went down there. Wound up in Turkey.
Wound up in Turkey, yeah. Man. Yeah, it was something else, but...
So obviously, we talked about going through with your kid, your son Ian, with you being deployed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How did that take its toll on you, being away from the family?
That is definitely the hardest part of a deployment. I'd laugh because, I was in Cuba and went to Germany in 2009, and, we tease each other. That's not a deployment, that's a vacation.
Yeah.
And, it definitely could be worse, but the being away from the family was the hardest part. Not being there for your kids, knowing that they're hurting, missing you. It was one of the most stressful things for me was trying to find a phone or something. Like the early deployments, we'd have real good internet, anything like that, so you couldn't video chat.
Oh, yeah.
You had to go to a morale tent somewhere, and wait for hours just to use the phone. And, in Iraq, there was a phone in our hooch, our big living quarters. And so we're sitting there waiting, and then by the time it's your time to go up there, there's a rocket attack or something, you gotta go hunker down, and then the line is back, and you're like, are you serious? So, you just want to talk to your family just for a little bit, and I don't miss that at all. And so it doesn't matter where you're at, and honestly, it can sometimes be worse when you're in a cush place.
Oh, yeah.
Because your mind has a lot more time to wander. When you're out, you're working 7 days a week and you're in the mud and, you're actually sucking it up a little bit, it is easier to keep your mind occupied.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're so busy, it just goes by.
Right. Being away from the family, being away from my wife. We got married in 2002 after my first deployment. We were engaged during that. So, I mean, I've had to say goodbye to her so many times, and I remember by the time my last deployment we had gotten kind of into a routine. Like instead of like my first one, you know, we're lingering, trying to say goodbye, blubbering and just sad, and, you know, but delaying the inevitable. But by the last one, you know, we were both business. Dropped me off at the airport. All right, you know, because we basically said our goodbyes a couple days ago, and then you got to get your mind in the game and be ready for the next 6+ months. You know, she had to keep things going here, so that made it kind of weird too. So like if I was having a good time snorkeling, I had to be careful, because if I told her I was having such a great time, oh man, I'm gonna hear it.
Hey, yo, babe, check it out. Yeah, man, it was such a rough day. Got a little sunburn on the back of my shoulder. Oh my gosh. She's like, are you serious? It's like sub-zero here.
Yeah.
Your kids threw up all over me.
Yeah, your kids. And that actually did happen. They did throw up on her. I don't think I've ever been thrown up on by my kids yet, but they've both thrown up on her quite a bit. So, wives, we love you. Thank you.
Whoa, don't stop the video yet. Guys, my name is Chris Gromas. I'm the founder of Davis Sword Ministries. I know those suggestions are looking good, but just give me a couple more seconds. I want to share the heart behind what we're doing here. So I had the awesome opportunity to video Andy and interview him, and it was an amazing time. And part 2 is coming out very soon, where he's going to be talking about mortars, more of his faith journey, and a tactical analysis of the Range Rover. So you guys aren't going to want to miss that. But I also want to share a little bit of the heart behind this. We want to honor those that have served and sacrificed so much for our freedom. We want to honor them in a way that they can share their stories in a fun, unique way. Hanging out in really cool cars, talking about amazing stories. So guys, be sure to come back for part 2 of Andy's story. But secondary, we want to give away cars to vets in need, okay? So this started this whole thing is two-pronged. We want to do these really amazing stories and talk about these amazing guys, but also we want to go ahead and give away cars to veterans in need. But we need your help to do it. So in the link, there's it's www.davidswordministries.org. You can go there, and there's going to be a donate button up in the corner. And if you go there and in the donate in the notes, write down Vets, Cars, and Jesus. That way we know we can put those monies directly to this project, directly to helping those in need. So please go there if you feel so inclined to help out, which we would really appreciate. But there's more to it. Every single person that donates to the car, to Vet, Cars, and Jesus, when we give away the cars, we're going to go ahead and we're going to write down everybody's name on part of the car, like under the trunk lid, under the hood, or somewhere, that every time that person sees it, they know that they're cared for, that people love them enough to go ahead and see that they're taken care of. So guys, the website again is www.dsministries.org. Come help us, partner with us to give away some amazing cars to amazing people. Guys, part 2 is coming out next week. Be sure to check back and watch it. It's going to be amazing. Until next time, guys, God bless you.